Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and doing a wear test of the new L'Oreal Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. So recently L'Oreal came out with a whole new line of products in their Age Perfect line. So if you're interested in seeing how this foundation looks and wears on my skin, then keep on watching. Alright, so since this is a powder foundation, I went ahead and already did my concealer and set that down since I was using a liquid concealer, and liquids always go underneath any kind of powder. So my concealer is done. I also primed my eyes while I was doing my concealer. So according to L'Oreal's website, their new Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation says it's formulated with a ceramide antioxidant complex and minerals, blurs pores and lines, and keeps skin hydrated with a shine-free finish. That's important for me with an oily skin type. Evens tones and provides natural coverage that won't cake or settle into lines. It also says instantly upon application, lines, pores, and dark spots appear blurred, leaving skin with a satin shine-free look, and it provides buildable coverage with a matte finish. So I love powder foundations. I think they are so quick and easy to use. I love them especially during the summertime and if I'm in a hurry, because like I said, they are very quick and easy to use. And for some, there we go. It wasn't opening. So typically when I put on a powder foundation, this one has the powder on top and then you open up a compartment at the bottom and it has a mirror and this little applicator sponge. Typically when I use powder foundations, I will actually apply it with the sponge that it comes with, and then if I feel like I need to, I will go in with a powder brush and blend it out if I feel like I need to. So I got the shade 305 Cream Beige. This is the second to lightest shade. The lightest shade is called Ivory. I was worried that that one would be a little bit too light when I was looking at the website, so I got this one. We will see how it goes, if it looks different on my skin than it does in the pan. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so I have one layer on, and on my cheeks and nose and the top part of my forehead, it looks pretty nice, but I don't know if you can tell, right here on my forehead, it looks extremely cakey, like already. And I literally just put it on. So I think what I'm gonna do is go over my face with this and blend this into my skin and then see if that can help fix this area, because that does not look very good. I don't know, that may have helped a little bit, but it's still, I don't know if that's just like dry skin or that's what it looks like. It looks like it's clinging onto some dry skin that I have right here. The brush may have helped a little bit, but it's still pretty noticeable. So except for that one patch of skin on my forehead, it looks nice everywhere else. I would say it's very light coverage, but I don't mind that. I don't mind light coverage foundations. It did feel creamy and smooth going on. So I think it did say it was buildable, but I don't mind the way that it looks with just one layer, so I'm just going to keep it as this for right now. It is now 11:02, so I'm probably going to have this on for about 10, maybe 11 hours today, and I will be checking in throughout the day to see how this wears on my skin, especially since I have an oily skin type. If it lasts throughout the day, if it starts caking, if it starts separating when my natural oils come through. So I'm going to go put the rest of my makeup on real quick and I will be right back. Okay, so the rest of my makeup is on. Looking at the foundation, I think it looks nice. I don't know how blurring it is. I can still, I mean, my pores aren't as obvious as they are when I don't have foundation on. So I think they were blurred out a little bit, except for that one patch of skin on my forehead. I think it looks nice. It looks smooth. It feels nice on my skin. It's extremely lightweight. It doesn't feel dry, and yeah, we will see how it wears throughout the day. I did put some translucent powder in my T-zone just because I know that's where I get oily. So we will see when my natural oils start to come through if the powder foundation and the translucent powder holds up, and if the foundation separates or cakes or not. And I'm interested to see, once my natural oils come through, if this patch right here on my forehead kind of works itself out. But like I said, it looks nice. It's definitely a matte finish, very lightweight, light coverage, but again, I don't mind that. I will check in again in probably about 5 hours or so we can see how it's held up in that time. It's supposed to be like 90 degrees today, and I'm going to be working in my classroom cleaning stuff up, so I figured that would be a good test for this foundation to see how it holds up in the heat and with me, you know, walking around school and putting stuff away, like cleaning stuff up. So we will see how it looks in just a few hours. All right, so it is about 4:30, and so the foundation has been on for about 5.5 hours now. I was just looking at it in the mirror and it doesn't look terrible. I am definitely shiny, like my oils have started to come through, but I don't see any separation of the foundation, which is pretty impressive. Let me zoom in a little bit. The dry patch on my forehead from this morning is not there anymore. So now that my natural oils have come through, that kind of solved that problem up there, which is kind of what I expected to happen anyway, but I'm glad it did. So that problem has been solved, but again, I am shiny in my T-zone around my pore area. But even though my oils have come through, like I said, the foundation hasn't separated, and it also has not caked up anywhere. So for 5.5 hours, I would say this is looking pretty good. Normally, if I checked my foundation and my face was looking shiny like this, I would blot it, but because this is a wear test, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm not gonna touch it up. I'm not gonna do anything to it until I take my makeup off at the end of the night to see what it actually looks like without touching it for 10, 11 hours. So for about the halfway mark, besides my oils coming through, it looks pretty good, and it has held up really well because, like I said earlier, I was working at my school in my classroom, so I have been moving around a lot, and I have been taking my mask off and on over 4 hours of that time. So even having a mask on and taking it off and putting it back on, the foundation has still held up really well on my face so far. So not bad for 5.5 hours in. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the night. All right, so it is now 10 o'clock and the foundation has been on for about 11 hours, and I am definitely oily. Like you can see on my forehead, around my pores, my chin, so definitely oily in my T-zone. But even with this amount of oil coming through, the foundation has not caked or separated, and I'm very impressed with that. The only things that I've noticed are around the sides of my nose. If you can see, it has gotten a little cakey, and I have a couple of lines right in between my eyebrows that you can see it has kind of settled into those lines, but those are the only two areas that I noticed an issue. So I don't think this foundation claimed to mattify your skin. It actually said that it had ingredients in it to hydrate your skin all day. So this wasn't necessarily supposed to be a mattifying foundation. So I'm not surprised by the amount of oil. But what did surprise me is that the foundation held up even with the oil coming through. So I think I'm definitely going to be using this again. I think this could be easily touched up. Actually, let me do that real quick. So all I do to touch up is just take a tissue, sometimes a paper towel, a piece of toilet paper, whatever is closest, and I just gently pat my face and let it absorb any oil that's on my skin, and that looks so much better. So now that I've touched up, it looks fresh again. So even with the pressing to absorb the oil, the foundation didn't move, it didn't cake, it didn't separate, it didn't get weird when I touched it. So I really like this foundation. Like I said, I'm definitely going to be using it again. I'm happy to have another powder foundation in my collection again. I really like the L'Oreal True Match powder foundation. That has always been my go-to. So I'm excited to have this one now to kind of interchange with my BB cream for an everyday kind of foundation. And with touching up and 11 hours later, I'm impressed with how this looks after 11 hours. Obviously, I would need to touch this foundation up throughout the day, even just one time throughout the day, but that's typical for me. I haven't ever met a foundation that stays completely matte on me the entire day. So I'm used to touching up. That doesn't bother me. I don't know. This foundation is a win for me. I'm very impressed with how it held up throughout the day, and I am looking forward to using it again. I think the shade started off a little bit dark, but I also think that it oxidizes a little bit. So if you're thinking about getting this, you might think about going a shade lighter than you might think you need, only because it does oxidize a little bit. So I probably could have gotten away with the ivory shade, but I don't think that this is bad enough of a shade difference. I know it's hard to tell with the lighting in here, but I don't think this is bad enough that I would need to immediately go out and buy ivory. I can keep using this shade and it's fine, especially with summer coming. Hopefully I will have a reason to wear a darker foundation soon. So I think it does oxidize a little bit, so just keep that in mind if you're interested in buying it and looking for a shade for you. Maybe go a half a shade to a shade lighter than you normally would. But yeah, I like this. I'm gonna keep using it and I'm impressed with how it held up, especially for a powder foundation. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and found it helpful, you can give it a thumbs up. Also comment down below if you've tried it and what your thoughts are on it. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!